Good morning, Sir Patrick. This is our group, account 407, which is prepared by me, Eliza, Sebastian, Ivy, and Viviana, and we are choosing your barber shop. This is table of content of our group. The first is introduction of our group members, business background, business characteristic, classification of business item, recording process of the business, and strengths and weaknesses. And this is our introduction of our group members. And this is our group members. I am Eliza Duncan. I am the team leader of this group. And this is my colleague, Sebastian Badin, anak Karadi, Viviana Rebecca, anak Angang, and Ivy Adelia binti Phillips.
Thank you, Lai. So I will take this stage to introduce the background for our business. For our business, we choose the barber shop. This business started to operate on 12 October 2024. The owner for the shop is Ahmad Khairul, and it was located at Jalan Dato Muhammad Musa, Desa Ilmu Commercial Center Phase 25, 94300 Kota Samarhan, Sarawak. For the owner capital, it was 10,000 and came from the owner's saving. And for the type of business, it was sole proprietorship, which means it was owned by one person and fully controlled by the owner himself. For the business activity, they serve the haircut and hairstyling. I'll pass to Vivi for the business characteristic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivy. In my presentation, I will focus on business characteristic. Your barbershop is a sole proprietorship which is run by only one person. First, your barbershop, owned by Ahmad Khairul and registered under the Business Registration Act 1957, which is allowing him to run the business independently. Next, the business are fully controlled and managed by Ahmad Khairul, which is the owner of the your barbershop. Other than that, all profits are retained by Ahmad, while any losses are solely his responsibility, emphasizing the financial risk involved. As a sole proprietor, Ahmad faces use unlimited liability. His personal assets are at risk if the business incurs debt beyond its capacity to pay. Being sole owner, the business life tied to the owner. That's all, and I'll pass this presentation to Eli to explain and elaborate the classification of business item.
Thank you, Viviana, on your explanation about business characteristic. Now we're gonna move to classification of business item. First of all, the first business item is asset. Assets are resources or items of value that the business owns and expected to use generate benefit in the future. There's two kinds of asset, which is non-current asset and current asset. For non-current asset, it will be kept and used for long-term basis, which is more than 1 year. Meanwhile, for current asset, it is short-term in nature, which is less than 1 year. There's three kinds of non-current asset, which is tangible, intangible, and long-term investment. Tangible asset is it a physical substance or it can be seen and touched. Meanwhile, for intangible asset, it non-physical asset, it cannot be seen or cannot be touched. Lastly, long-term investment, which is bought for the purpose of earning interest or dividend. By using the non-current asset, the owner and the worker can deliver their service to the client, which is consisting using the chair, the equipment, trolley, and so on. So the function of the chair is to sit the customer down, and the function of the equipment, there's two kinds of equipment, which is hair clipper, hair dryer, so that he can cut and clean their hair so that the customer will satisfied by the service. And the trolley is function for storing or put the equipment so that it will not waste the worker time. So you can see there's the figure behind every equipment. So by using this equipment or the non-current asset, the business can keep going and progressing, delivering their service to the customer and generate more incomes. Okay, so there's two kind of current asset that the business have these days, which is bank and cash. So the bank is how much money the business have in their banks. Meanwhile, the cash is how much money they have in their hands right now. Okay, so here we are, liability. So liability is external party claim to the business asset. So liability in other means amount owed by a business to the outside party. So there's two kind of liability, which is current liability and non-current liability. Okay, so for non-current liability, this liability or debt can be paid or can be settled more than 1 year. Meanwhile, for current liability, this debt can be settled within or less than a year. But since the owner of this shop and businesses is Mr. Ahmad Khairul, didn't taking any loan by using his savings as a capital to the business. So in other means that he haven't have any liability yet. So the third business item is revenue or income. So income or revenue is income generated by the business either from trading or normal operation activities. So there's three kinds of revenue, which is sales of goods, rendering of service, or from use of business asset by others. So sale of goods is a tangible good, which is the owner or the worker sells good to the buyer or anyone and generate the income. And secondly, rendering of service is where the owner or the worker provide or giving their service to the client or the customer to generate the income. And lastly, from use of business asset by others, meaning that additional income that generated by the business, but not by the main service of the business. So in this case, since this shop is only new, which is around 2 or 3 months, they only provide rendering of service, which is haircut and hairstyling service. And yes, currently the shop didn't sell any good or have any additional business assets. Okay, so capital is amount of money or assets that contribute by the owner to put in the business, and so that the money or the asset can be used by the worker to produce income. So in this case, the owner, Mr. Ahmad Khairul, only provide or contribute 10,000 ringgit, which been used for purchasing the needs for the shop, which is the furniture, the machine, the security, which is the CCTV, so that the business can operate well. Okay, during generating income in this business, it's also come with cost to generate the income, which is there's called 4 kind of expenses, which is cost of sale, selling, distribution, administrative, and finance cost. Okay, for the cost of sale is the cost of the products. For example, if the owner ordering things from the supplier, of course, it's gonna charge them the delivery charges so that the product arrives to them and so that they can sell the products to the customer to generate income. Meanwhile, the second one is selling and distribution, which is a cost when they hire commissions or someone to promote their product, they must pay the commissioner when they're doing the job by selling their products. And the third one is administrative. for me, it is a compulsory cost because that you need to pay the utility bills, the salary worker. When I say utility bill, it's including the electric, the water, the gas, and everything so on. And the lastly is the finance cost. Let's say if the owner take a loan or take, yes, of course, a loan from creditors, it will charge an interest charge, so he need to pay additional after he borrow an amount of money. Okay, so drawing is amount or anything that owned by the business but have been taken by the owner. For example, cash or goods. So when the owner takes something from the business, it will not be recorded in the business transaction.
Okay, thank you, Eliza, for your explanation about the business characteristic just now. So, for my turn, I will be presenting about the recording process of the business. Okay, the recording process of barbershop is firstly they need to receive the payment from the customer. Then they need to know what are the type of payment that customer make, because there are actually two type of way that customer can pay. The first one is by using cash. Then the second one is by scan the QR code to transfer the money to complete the transaction. Then the third one is they need to identify the amount of the transaction and what are the type of haircut they are getting from the barber. Then they need to know what are the debt, since the cash doesn't really state those things, the date, the time, and the haircut, what are they getting from. So it's difficult for the owner to know what are the transaction. But if it by using the QR code, they actually easy to know the transactions, in they can see the amount, and the customer can add notes or notes for what type of haircut they actually are getting. Then the fourth, the owner will record the transaction inside the business book manually, since the QR also if the customer are using the QR, which means the owner needs to open his bank apps to actually know what's the transaction. But other than record book, the owner actually using WhatsApp also to record the transaction in case he forgot, or in case the book actually really far away from the owner, for example inside the safe. Okay, the next one is the strength and the weakness. The strength of your barbershop recording method, that is by using book record. That is, they're easy to record, and they doesn't need internet dependency, which means if they know internet, they actually can manually record the transaction, and they no need for them to use internet to refer the past transaction. And it also is much lower cost compared to using internet, because the book actually doesn't need anything much other than just a book and a pen for them to complete manually record the transaction. Then the next one is it has a simpler interface because it depends on the owner, and it doesn't really hard to edit all the transaction, of course, unless after they record the transaction. But before they record the transaction, they actually just need to write the transaction, and depend on the owner how he going to record the transaction. Then the last one, that actually the book increase privacy, since the book the owner can bring the book anywhere he goes, and the book is only way for anyone to know what are the transaction, which means it cannot be hacked unless someone got the book. Okay, the next one is the weakness. The weakness of books record. Using the book record, it actually time consuming since the owner need to manually write all the transaction compared to using the online or the phone to record. Actually, the phone is much easier since it can type even faster and doesn't take much time when compared to writing on the book, and the owner doesn't need to find the book. Then next one is difficult to edit. What is mean difficult to edit is not before the transaction, because before the transaction you actually can edit the transaction, but after the transaction, if they want to edit, if the error or typo, they need to cancel off the transaction, which means it takes space in the books. If there are a lot of transaction, it could be messy if there are a lot of errors, since it needs to be cancelled, and difficult for the owner to find the past transaction since it's really messy. Then next is limited accessibility, which means the only way to know the transaction is by the book only. But if it using the phone, it can upload the transaction online, which means if there is an internet anywhere, they can access it easily, and it doesn't need bring the book, since the phone also a lot of less mass compared to the book. Then if they're using the book, that means there will be no data backup issue. That means they will have data backup issue compare using the phone, since the phone actually can save the transaction. You can keep it inside the phone and you can back up it anytime you want. Of course, if it has internet, or you can just save it as a document. Anytime you need, you just can open it again and refer to the transaction, and it's easier to organize. Then the last one is there will be no automated calculation when using the book record. Since the book record, you need to manually calculate for the transaction. It's hard for them to know the profit and the loss. But if they are using phone, computer, or gadget, they actually inside the phone they can manually calculate the amount for you. And if the laptop, is even easier if they are using the Excel for them to record the profit and loss, because it manually calculate for you. Okay, and that's all for me. Thank you.